of inspiring talent we just heard. About 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's. You'll see within a minute or two that my left hand shakes. When you have a visible condition like this, people wonder about it. So it's incurable, but it's not terminal. It's not painful, but it is progressive. So what I've decided to do is say, okay, what can I do with a superpower like a hand that shakes uncontrollably? Well, let's see. I could be a barista. I could shaking the cinnamon on top of the lattes. I could be a bartender. I'd specialize in James Bond martinis, shaken, not stirred. I could work at a landscape design house, spreading the grass seed fertilizer all year. I could work in a Santa Claus shop. Every day I'd come in and shake the snow globes, make sure they still work. I could work in a morgue. Every morning I'd come in and shake the bodies, make sure they're still dead. Horse, cat, and butterflies. Okay, so the world must be a very weird place from the perspective of animals. But have you ever wondered if we're the pets and they're in charge? I'll give you an example. I went horseback riding 2 years ago. I hadn't been since I was in high school. So I didn't remember very much about it. I never jumped. I was going through on a trail through woods that still had branches down from a recent storm. They gave us about a 60-second lesson at the beginning of the ride, say, if the horse is going downhill, lean back. If the horse is going uphill, lean forward. That was all well and good until we got to a pile of branches across the trail. I could feel the horse gathering its haunches, ready to jump. And I'm trying to remember, okay, so do I lean forward? Do I lean backward? I can't remember. Well, of course, he was jumping by the time I was figuring this out, and I figured it out wrong. So I'm halfway off the horse when we get to the other side of the branches, and there's a low-hanging tree, low-hanging branch. Wipes me right off the back of the horse. So I'm like, okay, so that was wrong. Now about this time, the horse, who was used to inexperienced riders, must have figured out he had another inexperienced rider on his back. The rest of the ride, every time I got tangled up in a tree, he danced around underneath the tree and waited for me to get untangled before he went on. Who's taking care of who in this ride? Right. Cat. So, when my son was born, a neighbor offered to babysit him after 6 weeks so my husband and I could go out on our first post-baby date. We had a cat about 2-3 years old. Cat walked over to our neighbor's house to guard the baby. But the cat missed us when we got home. And sure enough, the next morning, the cat was still in the tree in front of the neighbor's house, waiting for us to get home, guarding that baby. Butterflies. So when my grandson was about 4, we took him on a trail near here. There's a monastery near here, has a butterfly garden. We're walking down the path to the butterfly garden, and he says, "Can butterflies read?" No, butterflies can't read. Neither can deer when you see the deer crossing signs. I'm Carol Covin. You can find me on Facebook. Thank you, Carol, C-A-R-O-L, Covin, C-O-V as in victory, I-N. I'm on YouTube almost every week when I do these routines. I post them on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. And I'm the author of a book, Who Gets to Name Grandma? I have 2 12-year-old grandchildren. This is based on 40 interviews with mothers and grandmothers saying, what advice would you like to give to the mother or the grandmother of your grandchildren? Thank you.